Well, it's Thursday. I'll give you some little updates because there's something to look forward to. I'm working at the moment with JP to see if we can make a better tool for pulling those collars off. Of course I haven't got one, but the collars off the back of the LT77 and R380. We've got a plan in mind. We think it's going to work so that we can use one tool for both jobs. The tool prices for those, if you want the kit for pulling that collar off, is £750 plus tax, which is kind of expensive. So, and I paid that for those tools. So I've sort of worked out a way we can make one better. We've banged our heads together and I think we've come up with an idea. So that's one thing. We're just waiting for a tap to come. I think it might come today, so then we can take this one step further. Oh, and also we're waiting for the steel shop to open because they're still on holiday. What else? I've been having a rummage through my drawers and my container and things like this because the weather's been kind of nice and kind. It's not been too hot. And if you've ever worked in a container when it's red hot, it's like working in an oven. And then in wintertime it's freezing, it's like being in your fridge freezer. So that's no fun. But what I did come around to find was I had a box full of these. And it's kind of a known fact that these reverse light switches for R380s are notoriously bad. Now I had to go try to clean it. Now it was futile, I couldn't get anywhere with it. But they are the right size, as a lot of you know, for timing pins for 200 and 300 TDIs, and they're spring loaded. Now when I got mine I had to machine a spring into mine to lift up the pin because it's underneath the car like that, the pin used to drop down, so you had to sort of turn the engine and push the pin up at the same time. Beauty about these is screw them in just before the timing is, so when you turn the flywheel it would go straight into the notch. Easy. Not only that, for you, my favourite viewer, I've got some bolts here for a timing pin. They are exactly right size for this VE pump. Beautiful. So I'm going to put these out for maybe like $10 just to cover my envelope and time for buy the bolts and running around and stuff like that. But you couldn't get much for $10. I think the original Land Rover tool, the little pin like this, was 74 quid. That's ridiculous. I know you can buy a full set, but sometimes people don't want a full set. And that's just nice to put in a plastic bag and put in your toolbox, just in case. Anyway, Stefan came down the other day and brought me a load of gear. And he told me a tale about his injector pump. That's what this is here. He took it down to an injection shop because he said it was leaking. They, of course, naturally took everything apart, absolutely everything apart, and sandblasted it, believe it or not. I was quite surprised. This is a wet bead blast finish I put in my machine. But and then they said, oh, it's going to be too difficult, too expensive to fix. In fact, it was going to be so expensive to put it back together again. It was cheaper to buy a reconditioned pump from the UK and ship it over. So that might be a challenge. We'll keep this one for the winter months to see if we can put it back together again. If all the bits are there, it could be a waste of time. However, we've got a case in now that this hasn't broken, because a lot of people have left that pin in, turned the engine over, bang, breaks the casting. That's scrap, and you can't buy these separately. What other good news have I got? Well, next week I've got a cracking project coming in. It's been on the back burner for quite a little time, but I've got a 90 coming in and we're going to do a lot of work on it because it's got the 2.5 naturally aspirated in and 1.6 transfer case. What the customer wants me to do is, he's got a 200 TDI he wants me to fit, but the 200 TDI is in bits. I don't know how many bits it's in, but I'm thinking about pulling it all to bits and go through it step by step, because we haven't done one and it's very, very rare to find a 200 TDI here now. Very rare. So I'm looking forward to that. And also we're going to change the ratio in the transfer box from a 1.6 to a 1.4, which has been proved very, very nice. And fit an ATB into that as well. So the ATBs have been absolutely fantastic. They have, everyone I've fitted for people say that the best thing sliced bread. Why didn't we do that before? Now this customer's already got an ATB for the rear axle and he wants me to fit that in. It just gets better, doesn't it? So we're going to be doing that as well. We've got it for a little while, so I'm kind of happy with that. I've got some transfer boxes and gearboxes I've got to put back together again. I'm just waiting for some parts for that. But apart from that, I'm not going to do all the gearbox and transfer boxes because we've done so many. If you find the playlist, you can go through hours and hours of them. I'm only going to do things now that might be of interest. Alright, now talking about might be of interest, I went down to my welding shop with these forks. This is out from an LT77. I hardly ever do LT77s now, to see if they could TIG weld these up. Well, they had a go, but it wasn't really good because they had the wrong material. I think they used brass and it was just more like braze. Well, that's no good. So I did a little bit of homework, and I think these ones here are made from aluminium bronze or aluminum bronze. And so I'm going to run down there this afternoon once I finish this video, because I've got a packet of aluminium bronze rods, and I think that'll do the job, because these aluminium bronze rods, they're a funny material. They look like brass, don't they? But they're actually 90% copper, 10% aluminium, and it makes a very, very hard alloy, which would explain why they use them for this rather than brass. I don't think this is brass at all. We could test it by melting point, etc, etc, but I'm not a scientist. So I'm going to take another LT77 down and get them to try it. Once we try it, I'm going to collar one of the lads who works there at the welding shop and give him a few quid to show me how I can set my TIG up, because there's more knobs on it than over the border in Middlesbrough. But if he can set it up, then I can do them myself, and then JP can machine them, because they are kind of expensive. Because every one we've looked at, I've just done a gearbox now, and every one I look at is getting loosey-goosey. I mean, where has it gone? Oh, here. They all seem to be the same. You know, they all seem to be like this. This is not too bad. It's this piece here. Look at this one here. This is the one out of the last 300 TDI I did. I know that ring's good because that's what's that one? That's a first and second one. But these rings never wear out. They never wear out. So again, something to look forward to. It's all happening here. It's just getting around to doing things. I'm also putting together a video about how we can salvage this very bad casting by using JB Weld. So that's coming up shortly, and it's coming out kind of well. I'm such a shame. I'm so sorry I've thrown so many away, but JB Weld can fix them. So that's it. That's what's going on. I'm looking forward to this 90 job. Oh, and we're going to fit air conditioning to it too. It gets better, doesn't it? It gets better. But the thing is, whilst I'm doing that 90, I'm not going to take on any more jobs. I'm going to concentrate and finish that, or get that done as much as I can, because as a few of you know, I need to do the roof on my building and replace the shingles with steel roof. I'm not taking the whole roof off, I'm just going to recover it in metal. In summertime that is blazing hot to do and I'm not going to go on the roof when it's about, well, the other day we put a thermometer outside and it was in direct sunlight, it was 40 degrees. I know in Australia that's like nighttime temperature, but it was humid as well, so it was absolutely terrible. So that's not really the weather for working on a roof. So now it's August, getting on August, September, we should be alright to get that done. It's not a big job, it's not a long job, it's just like I say, finding the right weather. If you've ever done a roof in hot weather, you'll know. Apart from that, everything's going hunky-dory. we're, like I say, we've got irons in the fire, we've got things to do. I will be doing, like I said earlier, or did I? I don't know, because I've done a few takes on this. Another Sunday sort out. And like I say, I have got things in from people who bought things before in my living room, but we never followed through on the end to get them shipped. So if you have bought things, I haven't forgotten, I haven't resold them, they're upstairs in my front room. But I've got some interesting bits and pieces for you, but not a great deal, not a fantastic lot of stuff. I mean, I was going through my container and looking at alternators for Disco 2s, you know, for the V8s, and I'm looking at them and thinking, well, they won't fit anything else. Bang! Container, you know, put them in the scrap pile. Because the thing about them is, you say, oh, strip them for aluminium, strip them for copper. How long do you live? The problem is, if you've ever stripped an alternator down for copper, you know it takes time, and I ain't got time to mess about with that, so scrap. Does anybody want them? Not really. ACR 15 alternators from Series 3s, you know, the old Series 3 Land Rover, scrap. I'm looking at 3 down there already. I've got them all over. I think they're breeding. What can you do, eh? But the place is getting tidied up a bit. But I've got some Alpine windows as well. I found 6 Alpine windows tinted. I don't think I've got the rubbers, but I've got the windows, and they're kind of tricky to find here. So I've got some of those. If somebody wants to retrofit them, I've got those. I've got a few interesting odds and sods. I'm just trying to look over the bench at the other side, see if I can see what I've got. But it isn't as much as I used to have. But you know, might as well go to a good home and cheap. Anyway, that's it for now. See you later. Ta-ra.